Good evening, everyone. You are Go for Grundy. I am Grundy, and with me, as always, is my sidekick Jay. What's going on, Jay?
We've got
Oh
a
God,
grifty
yes. What have we got?
we've got a grifty
I've
delicious
I've
treat
been
for
I've been hiding on an island with a beach ball named Wilson for the better part of 2 months to avoid watching this video, even
he
though it
came
hadn't
back
come
and
out yet.
Wilson had a fucking horrible hole in it and
That's
he
why they call
smelled
me Needle Dick.
it. So okay, so we've got the same grifty package with probably a very similar grifty message as you've heard before.
Because what are
Actually,
we if not grifters?
oh, you know what? I was just gonna comment too. Like, I really don't want to be like, like everything that I do, I want to be fucking. I want to be very genuine. I don't want to be. I don't want to just be, just be churning stuff out that's just I don't want to be pandering. I don't want to be fucking. I don't want to be
No, that's
just
my
playing
job. That's my job. That's
playing to
literally
an
my job.
audience. But this is like it is something that has gotten a lot of attention. A lot of people have reviewed it, so I mean, we're definitely not the first to the table to
It's
talk about this.
definitely got the internet boiled.
Yeah, it's a boiler. It's
It's a
gonna be a
boiler.
boiler. So
It's a boiler.
and I know Pearl did pretty well off of this, and she got a lot of there was a lot of spicy clips involving Pearl's responses to some of these.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I figure we should probably go through the checklist of the people who we do know from this thing, which is very short.
Yeah, Pearl and Sydney.
Yeah, Pearl and
Because they're-
Sydney. I've seen them because they have YouTube channels, so I've seen them pop up, and every once in a while they'll
Oh,
have
and
an
then there's
interesting
then
title.
there's the
Then there's the
trans
other
woman,
person that I'm vaguely familiar with, yeah, which is the other
trans
half of the selling or just sending.
the bathtub estrogen fucking
Well,
rip temples.
I think it's just leftover like prescription stuff, but still, it's still illegal
Oh,
to be
okay.
sending that shit over
It's
state
funnier to
lines
say
and stuff. It's
bathtub
weird.
estrogen, but yeah,
Yeah, but it's still illegal to be
the
sending that stuff over state lines. So this, like, I don't know. There's a whole thing on the internet. I don't know how like credible any of that shit is, but yeah, people obviously hate this person because of that. But aside from that, I'm not familiar with anybody else on the panel.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's gonna be interesting. From what I've heard and from what I've seen, apparently it's a big nothing burger. Like it's a big waste of time for everyone involved, including the audience. So
Really?
buckle
That's
up,
not some. That's
buckle
not
up,
gonna.
buckle up,
Sound
buckaroos.
too,
Well,
well,
no. If you're no. Let me rephrase that. If you're here looking for brilliant feminist conversations, you're not gonna find them here. You're gonna find
no,
find a whole lot of grifters basically trying to increase their numbers or whatever.
um, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I don't know if you've watched this whole thing in its entirety, but I have not, and I've just seen a lot of clips, and I thought it would be something that since everyone is, chipping their 2 cents in on this topic and reviewing it and clipping it, that we should give it a watch through and kind of amalgamate any points, any little sections of the conversation, or not amalgamate, but clip and kind of get you guys a little kind of all the important segments where there's relevant commentary and there's interesting kind of points being made or arguments to make. That
So
are
we're not,
not
yeah, you're not going to be seeing the whole video. You're going to be seeing our chopped up amalgamation of what we think is interesting from the video. Because if we watch the whole gosh darn thing, well, I just have to go out and, peaceful sunset myself.
peaceful sunset. All right, so you said it already once. I'll say it again. Buckle up,
Oh
buckaroos.
wait, hold on. Let me pull up the window now. Boom. There we go. Magic.
Okay.
Magic VBS.
All right, here we go.
How is it sexism when we have no barriers today? So we can
Who
pick
has
what
no
we want to
barriers?
pick.
Who doesn't have barriers? Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want. What's
I
stopping
can
you?
or you can?
What's stopping you?
It's funny that Vice used that, like, because this is Vice, so like,
It's just she just said what's stopping you to a lady with no legs.
yeah, but
It's just
the-
funny.
the-
I know it's
being a
funny.
woman-
I know it's funny though. It's funny that that's a clip that they use.
Yeah.
Will we mark this bad boy at all? Oh my goodness.
Oh, here we go. Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Liz Landers. I'm Vice News' chief political correspondent.
Uncanny.
And we are here today to talk about some of the biggest issues dividing women across the country.
I mean, the fact that she got to choose her name and she went with Liz Landers is It's like she really like wanted to have that alliteration, Liz Landers. You get to choose it. I mean, sounds so cool. God, it's uncanny though. It's like.
In other words, we're here to talk about feminism. First, I just want to say we know we can't represent everybody's views, but we did try our best to bring together a diverse group of women today. In today's polarized world, is feminism
And a couple
dead?
guys.
You guys saw your hand.
I think that depends on the definition of feminism. I strongly think that feminism is more of an action than an identity. I would say it's uplifting all women, in which case it's very alive. At the same time, if we do follow that definition, feminism has splintered off into so many different areas that you can look at people like Sheryl Sandberg who say you should just get another nanny if you feel oppressed. And if we're talking about that kind of feminism, yeah, it's pretty dead.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the human race.
Okay. That's a fair point. That's a fair point, because, well, one of the things that people tend to see on Twitter is like, well, let's just throw this as an easy example, like TERFs, right? TERFs self-identify as feminists, but the current iteration of intersectional third-wave feminism would consider TERFs to be outside their whatever their Overton window of feminism is, right?
I'm not familiar with the expression TERFs.
Trans exclusionary radical feminists. That's like it's a pejorative term used against feminists who don't want trans women in people's space and in women's spaces.
Oh, okay. So calling someone a TERF, like if you're a cis woman and like you're calling TERFs like. Okay, you're calling the TERF is the person who doesn't want trans people in their in feminist space.
Exactly. That's the at least that's how I understand it. That's the accusation that J.K. Rowling gets all the time as well.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Okay, so what was your point? What were you saying was the good point there?
Well, it's that like feminism is not just a one thing with one set of rules. It's like. You can literally have feminist ideologies that act in direct opposition together. Is sex negativity, sex positivity, just like
I would make the argument that feminism that feminism when feminism was when it was a new movement and the ideas, principles, and values and the goals it aimed to achieve, I'd rather say that. The term feminism as it originated, I mean that term has been co-opted and the whole movement has kind of been co-opted by this new wave who have entirely different values and goals for what to do under this flag of feminism.
Well, that's the thing. You don't really have one flag of feminism. That's kind of like the point that Eli was making, and that's the point that I said is a good point. It's not just one. It's not like you have the feminist team versus the non-feminist team. It's like you have several feminist teams in the feminist league but they all have different ideas, you know.
But that's it. It has to there has to be some unifying. That's what I think is a big problem. This is like it's not exclusive to feminism, but like words have to mean something. There has to be some unifying principle, some unifying thing. Oh, it relates to women. Okay, well now that's including trans women. Are trans women women? That's an argument. Like I mean that's a whole. So.
But those are the two philosophies contradicting each other, right? That's what
exactly.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're all agreeing here. All right.
Exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're always going to have to strive and work towards to make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead.
I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive.
Power and oppression.
Select goals, achieve those goals, maintain those goals. Like that's literally how you do it.
But again, there's a difference. There's a difference between being equal, like, or between having being equally important in the picture of humanity, and like in the whole picture. There's a difference between that and then between being the same and being equally important. The Liver King actually has a reference for this. Equal but complementary opposite. So We both, we are part of a larger thing. We both, we both serve a function together as a unit. We are opposite in, well, we're very similar, but we have opposite but complementary features and characteristics that are exclusive to either side. So that's like, and I think, like the Liver King or not, with his whole steroid thing, I don't even know if you know who the Liver King is.
No idea.
So the Liver King, the audience will probably know the Liver King's pretty big online. But the Liver King, I thought that was pretty eloquent, and it really kind of captures it. It just articulates it quite well. So anyway, we'll carry on.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
The smug look over, like,
So smug.
yeah. Bill Burr has a great joke about this, and there's a reason why it's funny. Sneako's whole thing is find the truth in funny, or something like that. Find truth in funny. But Bill Burr, the reason why people laugh at it is because it's true. But he's like, women treat feminism like a fucking buffet. Like, it's like, equality, or equal rights to vote, going to war, no, carrying trash, no, paying for shit, no. But I like, they pick and choose what they want out of the whole out of the buffet tray, and as if things are to pick and choose, that they can be picked and chosen. But there's a reason why people find it funny, because it's kind of true. There's no feminists that are demanding for to cite one of Peterson's points. There's no women who are demanding equal representation as bricklayers. There's bricklayers, 98% men. We need more women in masonry. No, it just that doesn't happen. They want the high paying shit. They want the prestigious shit. They want the status, the stuff that represents status in our society. But all they care about is the high end. They only care about it when it's a privilege, just like Pearl just said.
I think feminism is also alive and well. There are different kinds of feminism, right? That is obvious.
No, and I know that's technically it's true, but no, that's the problem.
As someone who's really thinking about human rights, dignity, right, equity, right, as long as...
Okay, so what they'll do, they'll have these puzzles or brain teasers on Facebook, okay? Now what they'll do is they'll purposefully phrase things so that it's unclear in what one of the steps is, right? So on first read, it just looks obvious that you're going to subtract a 2, but if you actually read it carefully, it's like add a 2, right? But it really depends. Like a comma could make all the difference here, right? And what they do is they set up these like math questions where there's 2 correct answers, and people fight in the comments, over which is the correct answer. But that's the goal of the post to begin with, is to draw that engagement by people fighting over what the correct answer is. That's why they leave it intentionally vague, so that it can be interpreted as having one of 2 correct answers.
Yeah, and there's people arguing, and they get a whole bunch of engagement as people.
And it's a scam, right?
Lighting the fire, the comment section on fire,
So you can see it. Like if you're savvy enough, you can recognize it for what it is, and it's an obvious scam, right? Someone has monetized this post. And so what they do is they get people pissed off. They get people fighting with each other in this post, and they laugh on the way to the bank. That's feminism. That's what it is. There are multiple correct answers, and you get people engaged in fighting, or multiple wrong answers. Who knows? There's just multiple answers, and people fighting over which is not which one's correct or which one's the best descriptive or prescriptive fucking ordeal. No, it's over which of their philosophies is correct. And I'm sorry, but there's no correct answer. There are going to be different situations where different philosophies are going to apply correctly. And as a result, you have an endless clusterfuck of people fighting over what the definition of feminism is. Well, Vice is laughing on the way to the bank.